Welcome to Yoga with Val. We're going to do this video starting from the chair, but you don't have to, you can be down on the mat. The purpose of starting in the chair today is that you may find yourself sitting in a chair and want to do some yoga practice. If you're working at a desk, if you're sitting at home, maybe sewing or something, and you need to do some opening stretches. We will come down onto the mat to finish. If you'd like to start sitting on your mat, do feel free to start sitting on your mat. I've got a belt here. Now, some of the shoulder stretches we're going to go into, you might benefit from using a belt. If you struggle to interlace the fingers behind the back, then a belt enables you to start to bring the hands together. You can always twist the hands into the belt. And this is a sort of stretch we're going to be doing. Okay, so if you need a belt, grab your belts, your dressing gown ties, whatever it is you need. If you're going to start your yoga practice in your chair, we need to do the same purpose as becoming here and now. So let's think about sitting up nice and tall. I've got a block under my feet. It allows me to bring my thighs into a nice parallel line with the floor. I'm sitting slightly away from the back of the chair to encourage the spine to be upright. If you're sitting on your mat, so aware of those sitting bones lengthening through the spine position of the head. Same applies in the chair. So let's take a moment. Grounded either through the feet or through the legs if we're sitting on the mat. Hips releasing, aware of the weight sinking down through those sitting bones. Height in your spine, creating a little space between your rib cage and your hips. Don't do that at the expense of the elbows. We're just looking to lift the chest so that we're feeling open to breathe. Try and relax and release those shoulders, feel them dropping down into the back, and open them a little if you can. Find a position where your hands are comfortable. It might be that you want backs of the hands to the thighs, palms open and up to the ceiling. It might be more comfortable with your arms, hands positioned downwards. Choose the position that works for you. If you want to adopt a hand mudra, thumb and first finger, other fingers open. So we've got that sense of breathing, height in the spine, level through the chin. Taking a moment to bring our focus, our attention into our body. Taking some nice deep breaths. Aware of the expansion as you breathe in. Aware of releasing as you breathe out. Few nice deep breaths. Make any adjustments you need to. If you're on the mat, if you're on the chair, find that position where you can begin to settle through the body. That's finding our lefts and rights in balance. Where we can be aware of the openness through the chest. Where we can be aware of the height in the spine, that sense of holding ourselves gently. Length in the spine. Soft through the shoulders. Relax through the jaw. Lovely steady in breaths and long thorough out breaths. It might be that today this is all you want to do. All you want to do is bring the attention into the body and focus on sitting nice and upright. Opening through the chest. Feeling settled. Height in the spine. Body drawing into balance. Steady in breaths and long thorough out breaths. Focus on the breath. Deepening the awareness of your body and how it's feeling today. When we're ready to move on, we're going to work into the neck. So we're going to do a position called clock face. We're going to imagine that our nose is going to go all the way around the clock dial. Doesn't matter if you go left or right, it doesn't matter if you go in steps or if you go smoothly round. You're working with what's right for you. It's important here to keep the back of the neck long, shoulders relaxed. So when your head's centered, the nose is at the center of the clock where the hands join. We'll take our nose up to the 12. Now it might be you're just looking at a watch, you might be looking at a big station clock. So your nose comes up to the 12 and start your journey. You'll go around to the 1 and the 2 and the 3. So the 3, remember, is approximately level with the center point of the hands. And we come down 4, 5 and 6. So at 6 we should be down towards the floor, chin tucked in towards the throat a little. 7, 8, 9, we're coming up the other side. 10, 11 and to 12. And then we're going to come round in reverse. So we go from our 12 to our 11, 10 and 9. So that should be chin level. We come down to 8, 7 and 6, down towards the mat. 5, 4, 3, level again. 2, 1 and 12. You can make this slow or fast. It's entirely down to you. If you're going fast, just make it a nice smooth movement. Don't feel that you're whizzing around like a speeded up second hand. Okay, so we'll go around once more, up to the 12 to start. Then we come to 1, 2 and 3. 4, 5 and 6, 7, 8 and 9, 10, 11, 12. So we're going to come round 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 12, and return to center. Work into those shoulders next, some nice big shoulder rolls. Think about moving through your shoulders. You might want to start with those shoulders going backwards, so we're opening and we're reversing that sense of being hunched forwards. See if you feel your shoulders move in balance. Don't worry if you've got clicking and clunking. We all tend to have a little bit of clicking and clunking, as long as there's no pain involved. And then we'll reverse direction. So bringing those shoulders forwards. You might find one way is easier than the other. I know when I first used to do this, I used to find it more like squares. It was more as if I was moving my shoulder blades around a square. Allow the arms to relax. I'm going to do seated cat posture next. I'm going to turn side on to show you what's going to happen here. So we are curling ourselves forwards, bringing the chest down towards the knees, lower back's curling, chin's drawing in. Then we're going to open, lift the chin towards the ceiling, lift the chest, feel the belly's coming forwards a little. So we curl, bringing chin in, drawing belly back towards the spine. And then we open, shoulder blades back, chin lifted, chest lifted, pushing the tummy forwards a little. One more if you're happy to, curling, draw the belly in towards the spine, roll those shoulders forwards, Draw the chin in. And then belly forwards, chest up, gazing towards the ceiling. And come back to your natural position. We're going to take this to standing for those of you that want to. If you'd rather stay in your chair, then please stay in your chair. If you're sitting in your chair, will you focus on bringing your spine nice and upright? Think about where your feet are. So I'm going to talk this through standing. If you're working in the chair, please focus from the chair. So feet are almost directly under my hips. I can feel the weight of the body down through the feet. Think about weight just under the big toe, under the little toe, and both sides of the heel. Are your arches lifted a little? You've got weight into the outer edges of the feet. Do you feel like you're putting down a footprint in wet sand? You might want to lift and wriggle the toes a little bit. So be aware of the feet, all the contact points to the floor, to your block. Think about having your shins nice and upright. Knees directly over ankles. This is where we differ. If we're sitting in the chair, we're thinking about the thighs being nice and parallel. If we're standing, we're thinking about the hips being directly over knees, over ankles. Think about whether your pelvis is nice and square. Perhaps you've slumped a little into your lower back. Even if you're on a chair, you might need to just adjust a little. Think about whether you've got a little bit of tone through the lower back and the tummy muscles just to hold you up. Height through that spine again and relaxed through the shoulders. So head feel nice and level. Maybe even a little length in that neck. Good. So if you're on the chair, join us for 3 deep breaths. If you're standing, we'll breathe in, stretch to the ceiling, palms gently touch. And as you breathe out, those arms drift down. Whenever you're ready, in-breath, stretching up. Palms will lightly touch towards the end of the in-breath. And as you're ready to breathe out, those arms release down. If you want to use your head into the movement, feel free to look up as those arms stretch up with the in-breath. And to look down as those arms drift down on the out. Bring yourself to a nice centered position. And we're going to work into those shoulders a little more now. Take those arms out to the sides. Palms can be flat to the floor, or you can take palms away so that you work into the wrists as well. We're doing this whether we're sitting or standing. We're going to do some circles with those arms extended. Keep lengthening through the hands. So if you're working flat palms over here, keep stretching as we circle, and then we'll change direction, a few the other way. Try and keep those shoulders relaxed down away from the ears. And we want to feel we've gone balanced in each direction. We allow those arms to relax and release down, give shoulders a little wriggle. So we're going to work into a forward bend with the hands interlaced behind the back. If you need your belts, grab hold of your belts. Otherwise, we're interlocking those fingers. Okay? Those shoulder blades draw together. You can do this in the chair. You can do this standing. If we're in the chair, we're going to take those knees apart as we bend forwards, lifting those arms behind us. Okay, if we're standing, we have our feet a little wider than our hips for our balance. We soften our knees, we decide how far we're going forwards, and we lift the arms behind us. It may be you're tipping all the way forwards and drawing those arms back overhead. Working with what's right for you. Breathing. Drawing those shoulder blades together, arms lengthening away. When you're ready to come up, softly roll yourself up, allowing the arms to drop into the lower back. We'll take that into a back bend. If you're working on the chair, take your hands apart and just take the chest to the ceiling, gaze to the ceiling. If you're standing, think about drawing those arms down behind you, softening the knees as you look to the ceiling. As we lift the chest, we're drawing those shoulder blades together again. And we roll ourselves up. We can do that once more in each direction. So, come forwards, softly folding forwards, drawing those arms over. Work in the way that's right for you. If you love your forward bends and you want to straighten your legs a little, straighten your legs and allow the head to continue down. Do make sure that chest is open, shoulder blades drawing together. When you're ready to come up, softening the knees, hands come down, body comes up. Going into your back bend, drawing shoulder blades together, knees are still bent as we lift the chest and the gaze to the ceiling. If you're on the chair, then the arms are wide, chest is drawing up. Bringing yourself to upright, and we'll all have a stretch to the ceiling. So this time hold one hand in the other and stretch away. Lengthen. If you're standing, you might want to just tip that tailbone under, so you're tilting through the pelvis as you lengthen the arms to the ceiling. And we'll release those hands down. We're going to go into a side bend. If you're using the chair, you can have a side bend, legs stretching out, arm going over. If you need support for your balance, you can stand to the side of the chair and stretch away here. Or you might be working completely independent of the chair, in which case you're going to have those feet wide. So decide which position you're going to start from. Taking the left leg out to the side, we're going to stretch the left arm over. And we're pushing into the outer edge of the left foot, stretching into the left fingertips, palm down, lengthening. Feel this stretch in your ribcage. Make sure you're breathing while you're there. When you're ready, bring yourself upright and we'll change sides. So you might be walking around your chair, you might just be stretching the other leg out to the side. So it's right leg to right arm this time. Stretch that right arm over, palms down towards the floor, fingertips are stretching away. Feel that stretch in the open right side of the body. Try and get some direction of travel into the outer edge of that right foot, little toe side, stretching that arm over. Breathing as you lengthen. When we feel balanced, we come to centre. So once more to each side. When you're ready, left legs out, left arms stretching over, fingertips down, or palm down, fingertips stretching away. Breathing, really lengthen into this side of the body. Good. Then we bring ourselves up and we stretch to the other side. Reach through that right hand, push into that left leg. Right leg open through the right side of the body. Breathing. And we bring ourselves up. We're going to bring those feet in together. We're going to have that stretch to the ceiling again. One hand holding the other. Lengthen. Think about whether you want to tilt that tailbone under. Bringing yourself to centre. And releasing those hands down. We are going to have a little twist. If you're on your chair, you're going to turn so that you're reaching towards the back of the chair each side. If you're standing, think about putting the right hand into the back of the waist, left hand to right shoulder, feet are hip width. Have a little give in the knees and we're twisting round to the right. So it's as if that left hand is encouraging you round to the right. Think about being open through your chest, weight into your feet. Breathing, keeping nice and tall. We're in a twist, we're not bending and looking down at the floor. When you're ready, return to centre. Changing your hands, changing what side of the chair you're reaching for if you're on the chair, And twisting to the other side, weight in the feet. Lovely twist through the body. Heighten your spine, open through the chest. When you're ready, bring yourself forwards. And a straightening stretch again. And we'll release out. We're going to do a modified balance dancer posture. Again, you might want your belt. If you need assistance for your balance, hand is on the chair. We're bringing the hand to the top of the foot, same side. So if I'm grabbing my left foot, it's my left hand. If I need the belt, it's an extension of my arm. So I might be putting a little loop in the belt. I might be grabbing the bottom of my trouser leg. Might be there. Might be I can reach there. So deciding which foot you're going on to. I find it's easier to go around the instep and just on the foot rather than onto the ankle. If you want to go onto the ankle, just make sure that's not a slip knot, because you don't want to end up cutting off the circulation into the foot. Okay, so however's right for you. Preparing your right leg, thinking about your body being nice and upright, bringing the left foot in towards the left buttock. Think about standing nice and tall through the whole of the body. Try and draw those knees in together if you can. If you've got great balance, your hand isn't on the chair, your right arm's stretching away to the ceiling. We're thinking tall, thinking about our posture. Think about drawing that heel in towards the bottom. And when you're ready to come down, you come down and we try the other side. So it might be hand to chair, you might not need the hand, you might have the belt on to the right foot. However you need to work. The left leg is prepared. We bring all the weight into the left foot if we can and bring up the right heel. Might have hand onto the chair. We might have a belt on our foot. We might be holding the trouser leg. Try and draw that right heel in towards the bottom as much as you can. Try and think tall. If you don't need the chair for balance, you're stretching the left arm to the ceiling. So we want to be upright, focusing on our breath. However you're working, if you've got just one foot down to the floor, then you're working on the strength through that leg. Releasing out of that side whenever you're ready. Of course, as we have the chair, if you have something nice and sturdy, you could be bringing the foot onto the chair. Okay, please work in the way that is safe for you. If you would like to repeat your balance, you may still be in your balance. If you'd like to repeat each side, please do. So it's a case of preparing the leg, having it nice and solid, which is your balancing leg. So I'm using my right this time. Having anything near you if you need to put a hand on a wall or onto a chair. Bringing that left heel in towards the left buttock and seeing if we can reach for it. If you can reach for it, make sure that you're not pulling on your toes. Ideally you want the hand around the foot or the ankle. Trying to bring those knees in together, heel in towards the bottom, standing tall, weight into that balancing leg, arms stretching away to the ceiling. Looking at a point that's not going to move, breathing, lengthening. The idea of a balance is that you bring about your focus. So you want to really bring your attention into the body, into the breath, and try and find a moment of stillness. And then to release from that balance whilst it's still under your control. Changing to the other side whenever you're ready. Don't feel you have to rush. So we've got the weight into the balancing leg. We draw the other foot in towards us. We might take hold of that foot. If we can get those knees in together, it brings our weight to center. If we can draw the heel in towards the bottom, so we're getting a stretch in that front thigh. Taking the other arm to the ceiling. Think about being nice and tall. And when you're ready, you release out while it's still under your control. So this is about holding the balance for the right amount of time for you. I'm going to come down onto the mat and do feet up or wall next. If you are not wanting to come down onto the mat, think about popping your feet up on something, even if you have to modify bits and pieces. Think about bringing your feet up onto something so those legs are raised. Feet up wall is going to be really good if you spent a long time sitting in a desk or if you spend a long time standing. It's refreshing for the legs. So the bottom is in as close to the wall as you can, and you roll through your body taking your feet up the legs. If like me you wear your hair tied up, take your hair into a position that's going to be comfortable. So we're going to use this as our relaxation. Whether you're sitting in your chair with your feet raised or whether you're laying down, the principles are the same. We want to bring our focus into the body, so we want to close our eyes. Become aware of the breath. We try and release every muscle in the body. If you're on the chair, you're going to be keeping a little bit of height through the spine and the chin level. You're going to have your arms relaxing comfortably and make sure your chest is open. If you've got feet up the wall, think about dropping those shoulders down into the mat, having the arms out to the side and letting go. Allowing the top of the body, the upper body, to release down into the mat. Don't worry too much about where your hips are. They'll be slightly different for all of us. But do try and have those legs long. Try and have those feet relaxed. And bring your awareness to your breath. You might choose to stay in this position a little longer. That might be all the time you have today. And you might be ready to release out from your legs up the wall position. So we can draw the knees down towards us, roll onto one side, and bring ourselves gently to sitting. Just going to shuffle along my mat for a moment. Whenever and however you decide to finish, come out peacefully. Take a moment. And when you're ready to finish your practice, nice big in-breath, breathing in, reaching to the ceiling. Releasing as you breathe out. Thank you very much. Namaste.